lovely viewers, it's your boy Pato. Welcome back to Daybreak again, and we are here for another reaction. If you are new, I hope you enjoy this. Stick with me and let's go have fun.
Evidence to back it, and you stop it. Electronics, technology, they just be stuck in the pocket. But it's not physical powers, they use supernatural energy for.
Alright, guys, so we have Sarkodie here featuring M.anifest brown paper bag, and I should tell you that a lot of us did not expect M.anifest Sarkodie collaboration anytime soon, but it was always something that we hoped for, and finally it is here. And I, in particular, I am glad about it. So let's go and enjoy it. The beat so far is going hard. I like it.
In the beginning, I mean, they were me and they were stuck on a slave ship. But see how we are free, we are some ape. But you're free totally, we still in the matrix. Slavery in stages, see how they get you stay six. And your physical, systematic.
I remember this from the freestyle that Sarkodie gave during the 2019 BET when he won the Best International Flow. The cipher that he did is the same lyrics. Okay, so I guess this is a continuation of that because he didn't give a full verse. It was just a freestyle, about a minute or two. So I guess this is gonna be the full version of that freestyle.
Mind games, and me just a young quiet the time I'm in migraine. Freedom is expensive. Won't check your price range. Pure black children, but now we bury some white names.
It says freedom is expensive, pure black children. Now we are bearing some white names. We say we are free, but we ain't free because we still carry the white man's culture right there on the African soil.
Self-hate, your brothers and sisters are done cellmate.
Self-hate, so brothers and sisters have turned into cellmate, or brothers and sisters have become cellmates. This is because like take for instance, like in America you have like black on black crime, like something that is a very, very big issue in America. So instead of blacks loving each other and staying out of prison, we are becoming cellmates because a lot of people are getting jailed and put into prisons. This is what Sarkodie is saying.
I think it's time that we open the hell gate. We gotta push to be free before it's hell late.
He says, I think it's time that we open the hell gates. It's time that we push to be free. He is telling the truth. These are facts.
We can see between the lines, but we still can't read. We're still in chains, but the eyes can see.
We can see in between the lines, but we still cannot read.
We're still in chains, but the eyes can see.
We are still in chains and the eyes can still not see.
We do have a choice, but we still ain't free. I can't breathe.
We still have a choice, but we are still not free. I told you this is exactly the freestyle that he gave in the BET. So it's the same thing, but I guess he will add some things to it to make it a full verse.
I just want to be free. Free is when you decide for yourself. Free is when nobody controlling your will.
Free is when you decide for yourself. Free is when you're controlling your own wealth. Okay, so a lot of African countries, they don't control their own wealth. Those countries that were colonized by the French, they are still carrying all of their money into the central bank of France, and that is what France is using to boost their economy, to develop their countries. And these African countries cannot even have their own money back. They have to get it as loans with interest. This is crazy.
Wealth free is when you stop begging people for help. Free is finally when you're breaking out from a spell.
Free is when you start begging people for help. A lot of African countries, they are always running to the Western world for aid. That is what is killing Africa, because these aids, they come as in loans and they don't even tell the people the truth. So always we are in debt to the Western world. But how can we be free if this is what we keep doing over and over and over and over again?
We in the 21st century. They can't be using guns no more. They're playing games with the mind.
We are in the 21st century and they cannot be using guns anymore, so they are playing with our minds. He's talking about the Western world and the mind games they are playing with Africans. Behind the scenes, they are still hooked to Africa. They are still dragging us by a chain. We are not free like it seems to be.
I could see Bonnie claiming democracy, so we feel say we see everything, but we are blind. The destruction of a man begins in the home.
The destruction of a man begins in the home.
So when they break up the home, they take over the throne. They see a throne that was so you can see alone.
When they break up the home, they take up the throne. Exactly. These are facts, Like take for instance, our African leaders, when they are able to get to our African leaders and control them, they break up the country. And what makes up a country? The homes, the families. You know what I mean? So when the home is broken, they take up the throne, and now the whole country is being manipulated and being controlled from afar. This is an issue of the Western world versus Africa. You know what I mean?
When you owe, remember you cannot be on your own,
when you owe, you can never be on your own. You know what I mean? Because these leaders keep taking loans and loans and loans, and every country in Africa is indebted to China and to the Western world. How can we be free if we are in so much debt?
You got to teach a man how to fish so they can survive a lifetime.
These are facts. You have to teach a man how to fish so they can survive a lifetime. Okay, because that is what that man will be depending on as an income to feed themselves and their family. He's saying this, but he's relating to jobs. He's relating to training for the youth, so they can grow up doing their own businesses so that they can survive a lifetime.
But I know no wish. About the side they're gonna have a hard time.
He says no, it's not the wish of the Western world to see Africans, depending on their own and living life on their own without running up to them for help. That is not the wish of the Western world, because what they want to see us do is always run to them, look like beggars in front of them, so they will have the chance, the opportunity to control us and always prevail as being supreme to us.
The United States of Africa is what they don't want to see, but that's the only way my people can survive.
The only way my people can survive, the only way Africans can survive, the only way black people around the world can survive is a united African state.
On the side, they're gonna have a hard time. The United States of Africa is what they don't want to see, but that's the only way my people can survive. They divide and conquer with just a brown paper bag.
The Western world divide and conquer Africa with just a brown paper bag. So what they do is bribe African leaders. What they do is to rob us behind the scenes, behind the door. They bribe the leaders so they can get access to whatever that we have, and yet we still don't get the credit and the respect and equal opportunities for it.
With the cash, I bet on your price, and I will cherish the money and not the money machine.
They have come to Africa to use the cash to buy our pride. What that means is we are cherishing the money, but we are not cherishing the cash machine. You know what I mean? The source where the money is coming from, there is no respect for that. There is no cherish for that. But there is only cherish for the money itself, because this is what the leaders are getting. The people are not getting this money. So bribery and corruption, that is what brown paper bag is.
They say they want to invest on my clean. They be claiming supreme.
We have the land for agriculture, the land to cultivate any crop that we wish to, because agriculture is the way, is the future. But even in the Western world, it's even hard for them to cultivate peanut, granite. Yes, still they claim to be supreme in everything. But meanwhile, we have everything in Africa. This is what Sarkodie is telling you.
The return of Martin Luther King, we still have a dream.
The return of Martin Luther King, we still have a dream. So Sarkodie is putting himself in the shoes of Martin Luther King, and he's saying, I am preaching this to you. I am telling you these facts, that we have to be a one Africa. We have to be a united Africa. So that is the dream, and we are still pushing forward. You remember Dr. King, the dream speech, right? So this is what he's referring to.
The voodoo magic is nothing evil. I could see Bruni used to claim me say your logic.
The voodoo magic is nothing evil. The African voodoo magic is nothing evil. Whilst in Africa we see these things as evil, The white people also do stuff like that, but they use theirs as logic to create things. So why can't we use same logic to do stuff like that?
About the knowledge before people lucky. You try and talk of any evidence to back it.
He says when it comes to knowledge, black people around the world, we lack knowledge of certain things that are vital to our survival. You know what I mean? And the same lies they tell us, they will go and find evidence to come and back it up. And then we believe it. And we think, hey, everything is all right. Meanwhile, nothing is all right. You know, they do cheap electronics from outside of Africa, and they bring it, they ship all those garbage to us to come and sell for higher prices.
But it's not physical powers, they're using supernatural energy for profit. How the f are we?
You know, they are using supernatural powers to create these things, these technologies. Everything they have is just the brains they are using. Why can't we do the same? We sit there and we buy from them. Any cheap thing they do, they ship it to Africa, and we have to use billions of dollars buying their product, and yet still we get nothing.
Able to talk on the phone, how the f are we able to fly and control a drone? How the f now nipa cry to me and the clone. Keep it 100 million, you're not on your own. It's time for my people to wake.
He says keep it on 100. Believe it or not, we are not on our own, because we are controlled by the Western world. We are controlled by so-called supreme powers, supreme countries of the Western world. People, we are not of our own. We are not standing on our two legs as strong as we should.
My mind is made up. When I offended you, looking out for your neighbor. Mr. Preacher, please can you do me a favor? Yeah, may use a microphone since the devil is a hater. Martin Luther King flow. We're trying to develop, but the progress is being slow. They locked it.
He says we are trying to develop as black people. We are trying to develop, but the process is being slow. It's being too damn slow.
God, now we're sneaking out the window. They don't want us to get access to the info.
You know, they have locked the doors, but we are sneaking out of the window. That is how we see. We have been captured. We have been stood upon for this so long, okay? But now we have to find a window to escape. The main gate, the main door is locked, but we have to find a window to escape from the influence of the Western world.
The enemy keep on suppressing. We need some answers. We're trying to figure out some questions.
We are trying to figure out some questions, and the enemy keeps suppressing. The enemy, the Western world, is the biggest enemy to Africans, both home and abroad, because we are always being suppressed and oppressed.
A rich continent, but we're facing depression. The strippers again.
A rich continent, but we are always facing depression. Our economy is suffering, livelihood is suffering, welfare is suffering, but we are a rich continent. So why can we not use what we have as people to make good things for ourselves so that our people will thrive?
They try to take our possessions, and now we face a recession.
You know, they try to take up our possessions, our diamonds, our timbers, our cocoa, our minerals, everything that we have. So now every time we are facing recession, anytime our economy is collapsing, our economy is just hanging by a thread. A very strong message, a very powerful message, a message that needs to be heard by all African leaders and by all Africans, both at home and abroad.
We be original done dada, but everything that we do has been done dada.
Hey, we are the originals, but everything that we do has been done already. That is what M.anifest is saying. M.anifest is coming in right now.
All you gold, cocoa, minerals proper. In the land of so much,
our oil, our cocos, our everything, you know.
Hunger, to fix this mess, that be the hung up like a
we stay, despite these things, we stay hunger. But what is the way forward? How are we going to kind of solve this problem?
Well, until my build it from ground up, fist up, middle finger to all the kickbacks leaders. Just one.
You know, he says middle finger to all the kickbacks, the leaders who are not helping the African continent, the leaders who are not helping their countries and their people. You know, we say middle finger to them.
Punch up them for sit back, skin black, but it's your mind too. If fear must I remind you of the blood and toil that is behind you. How did we get here? Let me share.
How did we get here? How did we get here that we say we are independent countries, but yet still we rely on these greedy, hungry foreigners, greedy, hungry Western world?
February 2014, and Kuma was overthrown by these bricks and it makes me.
You know, Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, he was overthrown. He was one man who was at the forefront of Pan-Africanism, one Africa, a united Africa, but he was overthrown because the influence came from the Western world.
Sick, we've been brainwashed and all sorts of imports, even a toothpick. Money come, money go. We don't make control, so when we spend to the West, the money to go. We pray for rapture instead of focusing on manufacture.
We are praying in our churches about rapture instead of focusing on manufacturing. You know, Manifest is saying instead of us to invest in our time in manufacturing to help people grow, we are always at church praying about rapture.
Religion is a prison and we dying to be living and we losing our minds as we're thinking of winning and we bound to the change.
We are losing our minds even though we are trying to think about winning.
Of foreign exchange. It's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame. And for Africans and for black people, we always want the cheap way. That is why we are always controlled by other countries, like I should say, you know.
Since you like beef, let me tell you who are beefing. We beefing with Trump and it's like we beefing with vanity doing it.
We are beefing with Trump and it looks like we are beefing with vanity.
For life, beefing with indiscipline for posterity, beefing with leaders, no integrity, beefing with plastic.
We are beefing with leaders, no integrity. I don't know, man. Our leaders, they need to sit back. Our leaders, we need to have people who are go-getters, people who will drive the youth, because the youth of every country is the future of that country.
Banning be drastic, I feel weird there, by Muka, that's a classic. We for realize they be there, we passed it. Self-actualized, don't be thinking Jurassic. Malcolm X, when I express.
Malcolm X, when I express. You know Malcolm X, right? Yeah.
By any means, yes, many mountains to climb, I guess.
Enemies, we have still many mountains to climb, man. We have mountains and mountains to climb before we can get the real freedom. We have many mountains to climb, but this is not the time for us to slow down or quit, because we have to keep pushing on.
So how can we ever rest? I must say Ghana should be beyond aid.
You know, how can we ever rest? He says, I must say that Ghana should be beyond aid. Ghana shouldn't be a country whereby at this day and age we still run to the Western world to get aids and to get loans and keep on depending on the Western world.
Solutions, no baby band-aid. I don't care if the West is against us, forget them.
You know, he says, I don't care if the West is against us, forget them. Forget them that if we make a move, they are going to rise and say this. Forget them, because without doing or without making such moves, we are never going to progress. You know, so we need leaders who will actually push an agenda for Africa.
Focus and fix us. In Kabum, that's the people power.
You know, he says in Kabum, that is the people power. In Kabum means unity. Unity is the people power. Unity of all African nations coming together as one united Africa is the power that we can have for ourselves and control what is ours.
Struggle is sweet mixed with sour. Greatness is sass. Hashtag. Don't sell out for a brown paper bag.
Don't sell us for a brown paper bag. He's telling the leaders, don't sell us for a brown paper bag. Don't sell your country. Don't go behind your people and take bribes and give foreigners what belongs to us. Give foreigners access to come and mine our oil, our minerals, to come and take our timber, to come and take our cocoa and our gold for cheap. This is what African leaders are doing. So do not sell us for your brown paper bags, damn it. Guys, this is a very beautiful piece, and I'm even mad. I'm mad, I'm mad that, as African, we have to go through these things at this day and age. But this is a very nice piece from Sarkodie and M.anifest. They are calling Africans, they are calling black people in the diaspora that we need to be a united front. Let us come together to stop this foreign Western influence on our people so that we all can thrive as African and one people. You know what I mean? Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for sticking with me throughout this reaction. I really appreciate your time with me. Like I say all the time, time is very expensive, so even if you spent a minute with me, I really appreciate that. Okay, thanks to those who come back to watch my videos, I really appreciate you. Thanks to all my subscribers, I really appreciate you. But the thing is, we are moving, we are heading to 2,000 subscribers. Okay, so if you are returning or if you are new and you have not subscribed, okay, please do so. And let us push the African music out there to the world. Let us push the African artists out there to the world, because they are doing an amazing job, Alright guys, I have the next video on your screen. It is my suggestion for you. Watch it, kill some time with it, but don't forget to share the links. Okay, share the video links to your Twitter and to your Facebook, and let the rest of the world also see dayBREAKagain reaction channel videos and enjoy it, so that we can recruit more people to dayBREAKagain reaction channel. You know what I mean? Okay, we need the numbers to grow, and I depend on you. Alright guys, I will see you in the next reaction. It's your boy Pato, and I am out.